Hello, all, and welcome back to the NFL Quick Talk podcast. Sorry, it's been a while. I spent 2 weeks out of town, and then this week I have been working on a special project for the channel, so stay tuned for that. As always, you can find us right here on YouTube. We got videos coming out once a week. Going to be more than once a week with this special project, hopefully very soon. And you can also find us on Spotify. If you don't have the time to watch video, you can always listen over on Spotify. Just look up at NFL Quick Talk. All right, let's get started. Now, I know it's been a hot second, but I got to talk about my man, Deandre Hopkins, getting a contract and signing with the Tennessee Titans. I was honestly very surprised that he did end up signing with the Titans. If you remember back to episode 1, I talked about how I predicted him to go to the Kansas City Chiefs. Now that obviously didn't happen. I don't know why he wouldn't want to go to the Chiefs. Maybe they weren't offering him the money that he wanted. But in any case, he ends up signing 2 years, $26 million, which makes $13 million per year plus incentives. Honestly, he'll be getting what he deserves here. The perennial all-star deserves this type of money. This deal, as a whole, now takes the Tennessee Titans from not having the depth and talent to compete with the Jacksonville Jaguars for the AFC South division to now taking them up to they're not quite where Jacksonville is talent-wise, but they're on that level where if they steal a game or two where they aren't supposed to win, they have a legitimate shot at taking out the Jacksonville Jaguars as division winners, and this should be a fun little rivalry between the Titans and the Jaguars now. Being DeAndre Hopkins takes the Titans to the level where Jacksonville is. Again, not quite where they are, but I mean, they're very close. And seeing as it is one of the worst divisions in the league, consisting of the Titans and Jaguars, and then the Colts and Texans, who are probably not going to win a whole ton this year, the Titans are ready to get back to winning AFC South division titles. Staying with the NFC South, the AFC South, the Jacksonville Jaguars have extended their starting tight end, Evan Engram, to a $41 million deal. This will be for 3 years, so they're going to get Evan Engram in his prime for 3 more years, and not a whole much more to say on that topic, except for the fact that Trevor Lawrence, QB for the Jacksonville Jaguars, will now have a very good weapon at the tight end position for his prime and also the tight end's prime, which will end up being having great chemistry. Last year for the Jaguars, Evan Engram caught, I have the number right here. He had 73 receptions and 766 receiving yards, which is solid, very good for a tight end. Not a world beater like Travis Kelce is, but he will offer position flexibility. He'll just be awesome for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Sticking with the theme of extensions, the Pittsburgh Steelers and linebacker Alex Highsmith have agreed to a 4-year, $68 million extension, makes him a top 10 highest paid pass rusher. And this guy was a wrecking ball, a force to be reckoned with the Steelers last season. 14.5 sacks and a league-high 5 forced fumbles. He really stepped up in the absence of TJ Watt, who missed half the season with his injured pec. And not many people going into the season and really after the season kept up on him. He's really even still is under the radar. But I tell you, when he's in the game and he's not getting double teamed, he's not getting chipped because all that's going on TJ Watt. Numbers like this will only go up from here. His 14 and a half sacks, he's only going to go up. He has one of the best spin moves off the ball as a pass rusher. One of his only weaknesses going into coverage. I'm sure they're going to fix that now that he's in Pittsburgh for an extended 4-year term, and the Steelers should be lucky they have him. Although, if you're putting your Steelers GM hat on, I'm not sure. I put into question whether you spend all this money on sacks because they sign TJ Watt to a massive deal. They now sign Alex Highsmith to a massive deal. Maybe that money could have been put toward the offense because of the fact that offense wins the game nowadays instead of sacks. But that's just my reaction to Alex Highsmith getting extended. I mean, good for the player. He deserves the money. That's more than enough money to live off of for the rest of his life. I'm just a little concerned with the way the Steelers spent this money, where it could have been spent in other avenues. Switching gears to the Baltimore Ravens, the Ravens signed two-time Pro Bowler running back Melvin Gordon. Last year. He played with the Denver Broncos. This is a 1-year deal worth a maximum of $3.1 million. Basically means that he does not have a whole lot of guaranteed money, but he has a ton of money in incentives. He joins a very deep running back room already with J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. My prediction for him is that he will have what Gus Edwards had last year, where he had the number 2 role. When Dobbins frequently injured, he would step in and take the brunt of the carries when Dobbins was out, or when Dobbins needs a breather on 2nd down and 8, Melvin Gordon comes in and rushes for about 4 or 5. That's what I expect out of Melvin Gordon. He's past his prime. This will probably be one of his last landing spots. And again, with going back to Alex Highsmith, I'm not sure why the Ravens, the Alex Highsmith question that I raised with the Steelers and the money. I'm not sure why the Ravens chose to sign another running back to a $3.1 million deal if they already have a borderline great running back room, very deep. But that's the deal. And I mean, my words aren't going to change anything, but if they did, maybe that money goes somewhere else. Switching gears to the Washington Commanders, owner Dan Snyder has sold the team to a collective group headed by Philadelphia 76ers owner Josh Harris and Magic Johnson, former NBA player, for $6 billion. As a side note, Dan Snyder was fined $60 million. I don't have the time to go into everything that he did, which caused that fine, but I assure you, it was definitely earned, you could say. In other news on that, Magic Johnson, on a recent interview, said that they might yet again change the name of the Washington football franchise. He indicated that all options are on the table when it comes to the name. That's what he said, which indicates that they may yet change the name again. if they change the name, to me, it's just what I like to call fake news. Like, it's news, but who really wants to hear that type of news? Um, but if they don't, I mean, Commanders is a fine name for me. It's not like the Guardians for baseball with Cleveland. That's a terrible name. Shouldn't have ever changed the name to begin with. But moving on from that, this opens up a path for a new stadium for Washington. Their stadium has been very bad, to say the very least. If you remember, during the season, a guardrail fell down, and 4 fans went with the guardrail and nearly hit Justin Fields. No, not Justin Fields. Sorry, Jalen Hurts. Excuse me. And nearly hit him because they were leaning down over the tunnel. Jalen Hurts walks through the tunnel, and the guardrail just collapses. There have been sewage issues with it. I mean, the stadium is a piece of junk. It's borderline worse than Jacksonville's is right now, which is saying something because they have rat poisoning in their food. So hopefully that gets done now, since they actually have a new owner. And with that, we will close the episode. Thank you guys for watching. As I said before, there is a project that I've been working on, and that will be coming out relatively soon with the start of training camp. So be prepared for that. And if you don't have time to watch us on YouTube here, although I recommend you do, you can always listen to the podcast on Spotify. If you can share this with one friend, that will be greatly appreciated. The channel, is just starting out. Not as many viewers as some of the high-end net shows, but I can assure you I provide the same content, just better, on my channel. So help me out here, help us out at the channel, and we'll catch you next week. Peace.